YouTube, it's Faye, and for today's video, I'm gonna show you how I did this. That's right, I had the 89 plus taillight situation with pre-89 trim. And I will say, if I had any idea how much of a task it would be to make these actually go together and look somewhat seamless and somewhat stock, I would never have done this job, ever. This has taken me about 4 days of solid work, but I'm so glad that it's done. So if you're thinking of undertaking this job, then stay tuned for this video and I will show you what it takes to get this done. Starting with sourcing this trim from one of my parts cars. Let's get into it. Harvesting all of the exterior trim on a Mk3 Supra pretty much requires that you remove all of the rear interior due to the way that the plastic overlaps. Let me show you the steps.
You've been paying rent here in my head. Tried to fight it off, tried to hold my breath. I keep holding back, trying not to crash right into you. But you look at me like you know something I don't. It's almost like you see where this thing's gonna go. And wow, I think you might be right. I'm thinking maybe I'm way past the point of no return. I'm running traffic lights to spend a little time looking into your eyes. Swear I've been aching, I've been waiting for you all my life. This must be what love feels like. You got me high as a satellite. All that I know is I think I like life a little better with you on my mind. Am I in too deep or being naive? Will you lift me up or send me to my knees? Start prophesizing that you'll wreck my life and leave me high and dry, yeah. But you look at me like you know something I don't. It's almost like you see where this thing's gonna go. Wow, I think you might be right. I'm thinking maybe I'm way past the point of no return. I'm running traffic lights to spend a little time looking into your eyes. Swear I've been aching, I've been waiting for you all my life. This must be what love feels like. You got me high as a satellite. All that I know is I think I like life a little better with you on my mind.
Now that all the trim is off, let's clean it up and restore it before installing it on my light blue Supra.
My gosh, what a rainy, dreary day. So it's kind of the perfect day to put my chicken rain boots on and wash my trim. Check this out. This is a complete set of trim. And oh my gosh, I remember back in the day just being able to go to the junkyard and buying several pieces for, you know, 20, 30 bucks. Nowadays, this complete set is probably about $1,000 on eBay, which is crazy. So I have every reason to take good care of this. So today I'm gonna wash it. I've got this 303 tonneau cover and convertible top cleaner, so literally made to be used on vehicle exteriors, so I know it's not gonna cause any damage. And got my little pressure washer. I'm gonna put it on a low setting. So how you use this is just like pretty much any other cleaner. I'm gonna soak everything, get it wet first, and then spray this on. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit. And then I've got a variety of different brushes here. And then I also have some microfiber cloths I'll probably use too. But first, let's get this on and let's get everybody soaking.
All right, so now that I cleaned up all of my trim and gave it a final wipe down, I'm gonna apply this 303 graphene trim coating. So I've used the graphene stuff before, like the nano spray coating on my Mk3 Supra, so we're gonna give this a try. That worked great, so hopefully this does too. So to make sure that everything is dry, and then we're gonna shake it and spread it on there. And hopefully, it says it's gonna make it look like new. So hopefully this 30-year-old trim can look new. I mean, that's a tall order. All right, let's get a good before, and you can see how it is so faded. So I'm going to apply this to my microfiber, spread it nice and evenly, and then wipe it off. Wax on, wax off, inspect, assess. Oh my gosh, it already looks so much better. Oh my gosh. Wow. This, oh my God, I hope it stays like this. Oh my gosh. Well, we're about to find out.
Now my trim is clean, coated, and ready to be installed. At this point, I'm still living in blissful ignorance that my rear center garnish trim swap is going to be as simple as finding a donor 89 plus black plastic license plate surround portion, which I snagged from my crappiest parts car, stripping it down, and putting the pre-89 gray trim onto it. After all, both trim pieces are the same length, so it should work out, right? Sure looks like it. So now it's time to remove the pre-89 gray trim piece and get it installed. So I don't actually know how these two pieces come apart, but I think this little thing is plastic welded into place. So I'm gonna try to break it off for the sake of science. There's what it looked like before. I just cut out all of that outside plastic, and it looks like I might actually be able to pop it out now. That's it. It's lifting up. All right, so. Well, some Toyota engineer decided that this trim piece was in extreme danger of flying off the car. So one down and a million plastic welds left to go. And once the plastic is broken free, there's also a layer of adhesive you've got to separate as well until you're able to actually remove this trim piece from the license plate surround. Ta-da! Tedious, but doable. It was at this point when I went to remove the 89 plus trim that I realized the trim was actually a piece of the garnish itself. There was no removing it. Not only that, but it looked like it would be tricky to swap since the backside was pretty much hollow. I was now at a crossroads. Decisions had to be made, which is extremely difficult as a Libra. Sometimes it helps to talk it out. I've got a dilemma.
What's that?
So I thought I could just swap them,
Right.
but this piece doesn't come off. So I either use this center garnish and paint this to match the body, but then I have to switch the taillights.
No.
I know. I know!
You did an LED conversion. You can't do that.
I know. These are my favorite, and plus it matches my tattoo. But this looks dumb with this. Like I have to use that trim piece.
Think we just pop it over?
No, this trim piece comes off of this piece. This trim piece is molded onto that trim piece. So this is all, like this plastic is all one thing.
So I removed the 89 plus center garnish from the car and assessed the differences. I would need the bolt holes on the end of the 89 plus piece in order to hold the trim flush. But the backside of the trim area is super hollow, so cutting and pasting would be challenging. And there's a different width to the license plate area. Well, not everything works according to plan, and I want this to be a useful and helpful tutorial rather than a story of how I wasted my entire weekend cutting plastic. But I should share my first attempt to at least humor myself. I grabbed my Dremel and shaved out the perfect indentation into the 89 plus center garnish to house the pre-89 trim so everything would line up perfectly across the back of the car. Not gonna lie, it looked pretty fantastic. I even surprised Brandon.
Hey Brandon,
Yeah.
come here for a sec. I want to show you something. Tell me how good that's gonna look.
That looks great, man.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
He had so little faith. So little faith.
I secretly believed in you. I was just motivating you.
Oh yeah? I still don't know how I'm going to attach this to this.
I eventually realized that there would never be a good way to attach that to that. After some attempts at taping for epoxy, building braces, and plastic welding, I determined that the remaining structure just didn't have enough rigidity to hold up over time. So after a bit of mourning over my lost time investment, I determined to move on to plan B. At least at this point, I knew it looked so good, I had to follow this project through to completion. So I grabbed my original pre-89 center garnish and cut off the metal to hold the trim. Then, with much hesitation, cut off the remaining plastic on the garnish I intended to use. Now we've got this piece, and now we're going to mate these two cut up pieces. Let's just see what happens. This might be the ticket. Okay, so it's all kind of working out. Gonna give you guys a little status update on where we're at. Pardon the annoying buzzing sound, by the way. Those are my mercury lights, which I cannot wait to replace. And I've also got a little hissing sound coming from my legs because I got a propane heater on because, you know, it is evening in January in Texas. So here is where we're at. I have the 89 Plus center garnish modified, and I actually cut the metal frame, the bottom piece, off of the pre-89. So that metal piece here that I cut off of the pre-89 garnish goes into a stud basically in here, and it's got a nut on the back, and this sandwich is in between, so that's gonna hold this in place. So when I put this on, and it's gonna tuck underneath here, and I'm gonna glue that in place. You can see that it is flush. So when I put this piece here, which I'm gonna have painted to match the body color, so this is gonna be one seamless transition, then you can't really tell that there is anything crazy going on. But isn't all this work worth it though? I mean, look how boring the 89 Plus trim is, and look at how nice this pre-89 trim is. Oh my God, I love it. I love it so much. It's so worth it. I swear, it's worth it. It's worth it, people! I've started to put the rest of it on too. I can't put too much on because I'm still gonna have to paint the fenders. So the fenders are gonna go on, and then they're gonna get blended into the door. So I can't put that trim on yet, and obviously I can't put the fender trim on yet because the fenders are in primer right now. This is so exciting. All right, so I cleaned this metal piece. I also, where I cut, I just sprayed some primer so that it wouldn't rust someday in the future. And I cleaned all the old glue off the back, and I sanded down every single one of these tabs that I so meticulously cut off and made sure that nothing got damaged. So I sanded them down so that they're flush, and I've got some double-sided sticky tape on the back here. I'm gonna peel this off, stick it on, so that it's level. Once I get this stuck in place, I'm gonna have Brandon put some of his wood clamps on this to hold it in place, and then I'm actually gonna put some epoxy in the holes to hold these in place, just as like a little extra. And that way, I will feel pretty confident that this won't fly off since I've put so much time and energy and effort into it. So I let the epoxy and double-sided tape sit clamped down overnight, and the next day it was time to prep the license plate surround for the JZA-70 red plastic installation. I cleaned the plastic with a 303 tonneau cover cleaner and blew it dry with compressed air. Here's the JZA-70 one. I'm going to be obviously taking off this piece that I love so much. So I definitely don't want to break it. This is the only part that I truly only have one of, and the plastic tabs are extremely brittle. I gently pried back on the tabs and wedged a little razor blade in between the two pieces, all across the sides and the top. The bottom of the plastic has L-shaped brackets that slide down into place, so you want to pop this piece off from the top of the trim, then pull up and out. And then installation is just the reverse of removal. So when I'm installing this, the bottom part here has those tabs. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're installing the bottom first before popping in these upper tabs. Woo! All right, let's see what it looks like. Get this piece installed first. Just a couple of these little 8mm nuts. Oh my gosh. That's it! And obviously these two pieces still have to be painted body color, but wow. What do you think? Doesn't it look amazing? All right, now you see why I said from the very beginning that I'm so glad
that I had no idea what a massive job this would be because I never would have done it. Ever. In a million years. This was such a major project and I have so many other things I have to do to get this car moving forward, but now that I've got this whole situation handled, I'm finally able to take everything back off so I can finish painting the trunk, get that battery installed, get all of my interior parts installed, get my spare tire installed. That's right, I'm gonna rock a spare. And yeah, continue moving forward on my electrical system as well. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this did not discourage you from doing this modification. I hope if anything, it inspired you and made you realize that so many builds take so much time, especially with all the little tedious stuff. And the frustrating thing sometimes about being a mechanic or a fabricator or a builder is that sometimes, or hopefully, at the end of a job, especially at the end of just like a regular mechanicking job, you put the car back to exactly how it was, so no one has any idea how much hard work it took to like actually do the job. So sometimes that's frustrating. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in my next video. Bye!